you do this every day.
So you were alone.
I was always alone.
Doesn't she know how hard this is?
She was very sweet, but she wasn't present.
Doesn't she get it?
It's the chronic things that become our everyday.
Like we find our person.
It's the smallest words that can hurt somebody.
The resilience and the beauty that lives within.
I have you to thank for that.
This feeling of anger and blaming.
Own yourself, you did the work.
Walking through these halls, I found forgiveness. I'm Dr. Guldal, and this is Are You Awake?
So, do you want to switch spots?
No, why don't you go? I think all this just needs to stay raw, actually.
Okay.
I'm all good with the raw.
Okay.
This is really impromptu. We're sitting on the floor and we're having a meeting.
With lattes?
With lattes, of course. So, in this moment, you got to express what you need. Do you feel heard?
No.
I know you don't.
Because I think so I'll say this is a very this is sort of a gut reaction. This is sort of a very just immediate emotional reaction. I think what part of the struggle that I have with it is, so when you're talking about if you're choosing somebody that's unavailable and expecting them to be available, well, you already know what your response is going to be. You know, you're not going to get it. And I think that while this might sound naive, to me it's sort of like, this isn't, like, rape is black and white.
Mm-hmm.
It's just evil.
Yes.
There's no way to say it's good. There's nothing about it that's good.
No.
And so this isn't like GMOs in our food, where you can have scientists argue either side and people talk about each side and what's good and what's bad. It's rape.
Yes.
It's like saying murder.
Yes.
And people don't treat it like murder.
No.
And when you hear murder, you gasp. When you hear rape, you get the whole gamut of reactions. And from that standpoint, if someone has cancer, that's upsetting. You get a gasp. You get a, are they okay? If somebody breaks their leg, everyone's running up to sign your cast to show their support. And when you're raped, it's become so mundane. It has become so the norm. It's also never been, quote unquote, never been, but it's not, I don't know how to say that part, so I'm going to skip that part, but
it's not societally disapproved of, like cigarette smoking.
Right. Exactly. Like
everybody quit smoking.
Right.
When we made it ugly.
Right. But now, if you're a famous football player, you just keep on playing. Did you rape someone? Did you beat someone? Did you hurt someone? Was that person a woman? Here's $3 million fucking dollars. And that is an inappropriate response.
That's an inappropriate response.
And so I think that's part of what I struggle with is when I'm sort of deep down desperate for validation, it blows my mind it blows my mind that that's not the norm in reaction.
Yeah.
That blows my mind. And so the other part of it, and this is something that I was even told by a family member, with the survivor versus victim, putting that into boxes, yes, but with that issue that I feel, when so many women are strong survivors, then you also pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Women go through this all the time. It doesn't have to dictate your whole life. Why are you still upset about it? Not everybody who gets raped develops PTSD, so what's your deal? Why are you weak? And, I was trying to explain to this one family member via phone call, they're like, why are you struggling so much? And so I let them know, and they were like, well, yeah, me too, but I got on with my life. And so she's a survivor, and I'm playing the victim. And I get a lot of reactions of, like, you just want to stay in this place because it allows you to, I don't know, whatever people think it allows for.
Okay. So...
Did I just get you angry?
No. No, you're fine to be wherever you are.
Okay.
There's a movement between political talking and what's personal, which is fine.
Right.
But since we're here, feels like we can always do the cognitive stuff, in further episodes down the road after this one.
Mm-hmm.
But you're asking for something today.
Yeah.
Clearly. So what I want to do is make sure that you get what you're asking for today. Then you chose this moment in front of the microphone to ask for it. So it tells me that you're really, really wanting to be heard. And I believe each person who's listening needs to be heard for something. So, in response to all those voices that you brought in, everyone has their own way of managing. We all get to have our own way of coping. It's when we put that upon another that we put violation on top of violation. Not unfamiliar to the past when, well, she wore a red dress, what did she expect?
Right.
So maybe people don't say that anymore because that's no longer appropriate response.
Right.
But people have found their own ways to cope. So for those that can't separate their own pain to be able to hear yours, right? We talked earlier, not on recording, about being present.
Yeah.
So being witness to someone, to you in this moment, requires that I shut all that political stuff down, all the responses down that are teaching responses, and that I ask you to stop with the teaching for just a moment and just stay in the experience so that you can be heard and can be seen. What happened to you at those times and since are not okay. Each moment of that you're describing is horrific. And those are your pains and traumas that you're sharing with me and all who are listening. And the courage it takes, regardless of what you call yourself, is what I want to honor today. Wondering if you can look at me.
I hate when you do that. Hold on.
I'm asking so that you can see the experience. Because although you're asking for this, you're tucked away from it. So can you open to receive?
almost there.
You've been hurt so much that believing that you can get what you ask for,
It just hasn't happened.
it's happening right now. You have to let it in. It's really hard to open up to let in when only violence is what's come in.
I need a tissue.
Violence destroys our spirit.
Yeah.
Regardless of what can come after these moments, is irrelevant. It's what's right now.
Yeah.
You can just breathe into your heart for just a second. You'll actually be able to feel every single person who's listening right now. Each person in their car, in their room, in their office. You can feel this. And know that your courage is helping each of us. So I'm going to ask you to open your heart just a little, to let it in.
I just wanted to be okay that it still affects me and that it's still painful. And
so you're going to have to trust the voice that you've opened up to. I can't dictate what the world decides is okay. We'd have a different world if that were true.
yeah.
But I can tell you, with what I know about the human soul and the human spirit, and if you look at me, you'll believe me, it's okay. And I'm not saying it's never not going to affect you. What I'm saying is you're going to find ways to keep moving forward as you already have. It will always be a part of who you are. You'll transform that in different ways, but it'll never go away. And it will affect you the way it affects you in your life is your soul's work. No one gets to decide that.
Yeah.
But you have to know that, regardless of what other people say.
Right, and this
is the key here. You have to know it. We, each and every one of us, have to know that our experiences is ours, and it translates in the way that it does. Because every single expression, every action, every feeling that we have is not an accident. But if we need to take it a vote, we lose. We need to get one or two voices to give us that reality check. But we have to trust our own inner voice on this one. Regardless of how people respond, because remember, each and every one of us respond out of our own unfinished business.
right.
You have to know it's okay.
And I guess that's
what a waking up is about. Right. Just to bring this back, because we are recording,
right.
If I may. Waking up, awakening our consciousness is about trusting the knowing. You've been a part of this for a long time. You know that's it. That's the only answer.
Right.
And so it's no accident our meeting became this today. Because you have to learn to trust the knowing. You have to trust the voice that's in front of you and the vibration that you're feeling in front of you. But if you kick it out, if you don't receive it, you're going to keep looking for it.
Well, and I think that's I mean, it sums up essentially what I already know. And I think it's one of those things that is, that's the biggest problem that all of us sort of go through is your own voice when you're saying to yourself, I know that it's okay to feel pain from this. And, you know, and I've already sort of said it where it's kind of obvious. It's like, it's bad. Rape is bad. It's okay to feel pain from that. All tissues. And it's the same way of, you know, you have a parent that's not nice and they say things to you that aren't actually true and they try and bully you. And that's painful, but you have to say to yourself, you have to get to a place with yourself where you can trust in the fact that what they're doing is wrong. It has no bearing on who you are. It's just a random voice. Or, you know, so-and-so, like that boy, that girl, they didn't call me back. It must be something about me. When you know inside that probably has nothing to do with you. And I think that's just a very big battle that most people deal with in sort of any realm is, how do you go on about your life with an apology or a reaction that you may never get and still be okay with that?
So, first of all, you know, this show and my life's mission is about separating those voices, because we also have voices that say how bad we are.
Right.
So there's knowing, and then there's voices, and there is a difference. In all the fairy tales, it's Prince Charming or, you know, the princess, depending on which side of the coin you're sitting on, that's outside of us, that saves us and rescues us. But the reality is that never comes from outside.
Right.
It doesn't. And as long as we look for it outside, we lose. Doesn't mean we don't need love, affection, validation, affirmation, being heard, being seen. It's the nourishment of our soul. But once we're adults, until we can do that transformation within, it helps to have somebody that can help guide that. But for some, that's a higher power. It doesn't have to be other in person, but one that at least channels a vibration of healing and goodness. Because we have to do that for ourselves, but we all need help in doing that for ourselves. We do need to find the voices that will give us what we need. Whether it's through a podcast, a TV show, a book, a religious figure, a healer, acupuncture, whatever.
Right.
Because we still have the responsibility of taking the pain that's been put upon us and transforming it. And finding a way to come into some kind of acceptance that this is now part of my life story. Doesn't mean the pain completely goes away, but transformation is our responsibility, however long that takes, however that looks. But if we don't take that responsibility, I'm going to caution you, just based on today's conversation, if we don't take that responsibility that I have every right to have my pain, the healing will take as long as it takes, and I'm responsible to the best of my ability to heal this as much as I can so it doesn't own me forever, that's on us. If we don't do that, if we don't finish that sentence, we don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's a fine line that many of us, you know, we teeter on. And yes, your pain is yours. You have every right to have this pain be a part of your life in the way that it is, as long as you know inside of you that transforming it is yours to do when you're ready to do it. Doesn't mean it goes away. It's transforming it when you're ready.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here usually at, 4 a.m.
Right.
In the crazy way that I've lived my life to try to heal my own pain is that to be the wounded healer. Not everybody gets to do that. Everybody's journey is different. But we have to be so careful that we get to own that pain, own our story, and know that as we work with our story, it can continually have more chapters, regardless of how people are able to respond. Because you can find the right people to respond.
Where are they?
Right here.
I know.
You listen to a lot of podcasts.
I know, because they're my friends.
They're your friends, and you're not the only one.
Yeah, they're actually
But that's the reason, right here is the reason why podcasts are so important.
Yeah.
We're in an era, now I have to go into my place, if I may, for just a moment. We're in an era where we're changing our consciousness. We have to learn how to do these things. Podcasts, I fought doing this podcast.
I know, yeah.
But they have become all of our friends because we need to be heard. We need to be understood. We need to know somebody's telling our story.
Yeah.
All I had were music lyrics growing up. I had podcasts.
Right.
I had, John Lennon. But that's not minimizing it. But there's a way in which somebody getting it, somebody speaking our story, somebody speaking our soul, helps our soul heal.
Yeah.
Being able to say our story in a safe place. If we let it in.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we miss it too, when we don't expect to get it, when we're blocked from it. We can miss it when it is there.
Yeah, I think I'm so used to a negative reaction or some sort of blasé response that I think I would miss it at this point because I feel like I haven't seen much genuine concern or at least in a way that would feel good, that it's just been so long.
It's been a long time.
But I think, it'd be really easy to miss it, right now.
Yeah. And that might be the second most painful part of the story. For you, for all of us. We fall into expectation and we can't be present. These automatic reflexes. May I share how your body shifted?
Yeah.
You hunched your shoulders, closed off your heart, tucked your head down and looked away. I could have done the dance of compassion in front of you.
Right, and I wouldn't even know.
You wouldn't even know it.
Yeah.
Now, don't hear that as blame. This is an automatic response that we humans do.
Right.
My biggest identity crisis in life came when I realized that love only heals if people receive it.
Right.
I spent my life in only love, healing, giving, sacrifice, and nothing changed. That's what took me to my knees. Learning that people have to receive it, but also learning that they don't know how. So it completely changed my trajectory in trying to help people learn how to receive it and see what's in front of them.
Yeah.
If an apple can give me the love the way an apple can give me, but I only want orange juice, I'm always going to be disappointed.
Right.
And that is a result of trauma.
Yeah.
And the most difficult to heal, and why so many of us are in so much pain, and why you're still in so much pain. And because people really don't know what to do with it. So there's all of this vicious circle that happens. Okay, so now you're sitting upright. Your heart's more open.
Yeah.
You're breathing.
I'm really nervous about
Your friend's hearing this?
No, my sniffles.
Your sniffles, that's fine. Everybody else is sniffling. It's okay. Would it be safe to assume, though, by your body language and the level of breathing that's happening, because now you're breathing, you weren't at all,
Yeah.
that you feel somewhat heard?
Yeah.
I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No, I just think gotta go home and
let it sink in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pet a dog.
Pet a dog. Because sometimes we have to let it sit outside of us and go home and gently start letting it in.
Yeah.
I would ask that you do that. This microphone's a funny thing. And I don't know if it's just my microphone or the energy in which, working in the medicine woman ways. But can you feel the vibration of people listening to you?
I don't think I want to. I don't know.
It's fine.
It's like I'm having moments of it and then getting not insecure about that, because I think I don't always have a problem talking about this topic, because I think that people should. But it's that, I guess it's exactly what we said, is how are people going to...
Are you going to be heard and understood?
How are they going to react? Or are they even going to listen? All of that stuff. That I kind of have to turn it off in order to keep.
So before we wrap, because I'm feeling like we need to do that, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and close your eyes, and everybody listening, each and every one of you, to do the same. Because the truth is, we are all connected, and we can be connected through the airwaves in this way. And the ancestors work that way. Although in this moment we're recording, I can see and feel thousands of people in oneness with us. And this is how, group prayer works, group meditation works. There's the ethers, there's this other place. And just send out what you want to receive. Send out the compassion for whatever people's traumas, or everybody has a different trauma. Just send that out. And as you send it out, notice that that straight line becomes a circle and it comes back around. And say the words. I feel you. I hear you. I honor you. Let those words come back around to self as you send them out to everyone who's ever been hurt. And as you're doing this, make sure the heart is open. And just know that in that mysterious way of the universe, this is the most powerful. And since the beginning of time, we know that if we just say, I feel you, I hear you, I honor you, that it changes everything.